Hello, everybody from around the world. This is Samson Lee coming to you from Los Angeles, California. I'm your MC today. Welcome. Happy New Year. Wish you all of you good health in 2023 and a lot of success moving forward. It's great to be here. Very excited. Today we have a fantastic review for all of you. And this is very special, this first of the year, but also many of you here to find out what is going on with this quote unquote new project. Well, I've been working at it, very excited in the background to make it very special, this event for all of you. So to start off, to share with you what's going on. Well, look, there's a lot of things happening in the world. And a lot of people, they don't have hope or light anymore. And you know what? It was just an idea that came. It was almost like a calling that came that a few of us decided to do something about it. To start off today, to share with you about this new project. We have this couple from San Diego, California. I've known them for a number of years. Amazing people, great heart. They have years of experience in our industry. Please welcome on camera, Lance and Tracy Smith.
Hey,
hello.
Samson.
Hey, Samson.
Hey, great to have you guys. Thank you.
It's great to be with you. We are Lance and Tracy Smith. We are born and raised in San Diego, California. And we have built this business, together for over 30 years. And we absolutely love this industry. I have to tell you, Lance and I, we have 4 children and almost 4 grandchildren, and we absolutely love what we do. And we're so excited about building a massive business. So welcome, everybody. You're going to get a lot of information tonight. And man, I think at the end of this call, you are just going to be so excited like we are.
Yeah, thanks, Tracy. And thanks, Samson. It really is an honor to be on here with you, and Happy New Year to everyone. This is an exciting time, and this is an exciting story we're about to tell the world. And this is we're honored to be on this first call to kick off this new venture. And I see some familiar faces, but I see a lot of faces that don't know us. And so our story, we started the industry at 21 years old. We were working at a store here in San Diego, and my cousin shared with me the idea. I loved it, but we were horrible for the first year. We had more people quitting than we had getting in, but we were committed to the journey. The second year got good. The third year, it started to make sense. By the time we were 23, we went full time in the industry. We were blessed at 25 to be able to hit one of the top ranks of our first company. And by the time we were 30, we really had accomplished a lot of our financial dreams. It was really an amazing story. But I will tell you this, when we got involved, everyone talked about it being a 2 to 5 year plan. And at 30 years old, I realized, man, I got the rest of my life. And so it needs to be a lifelong plan. And building this industry, there's a lot of leaders on this call. They'll tell you that there's a different mindset from building, making money versus building a legacy and doing this long term. And so we had to make a pivot at that point. And we started to change the way we looked at things. Everything we looked at was a long-term vision. And that's certainly how this story is starting, is between all of us that are on the call tonight. I think there's 170 years of experience between the 6 and 7 of us that are here on this call. And so we've seen a lot of things in that time frame. Hype and hustle will make money, but it's integrity, trust, and a willingness to serve others. It's really going to serve us long term. And so since that time frame, we've been blessed to work with $3 billion companies. We've been on the board, seen the front, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we're just big advocates for our industry. And I will tell you that our industry right now is a little bit lost. Like Samson said, people don't have hope. The pandemic threw the whole industry kind of on its ear, and there's a lot of fear. There's distrust. There's a lot of things. And what our industry desperately needs right now is a new story. I mean, the world needs a new story. And so with that, let me just talk real quickly about the pillars that really are the foundation for what we're starting here in the movement that we're putting together. And I don't know a lot of things, but I do know what makes a company stay and what makes a company last. And the first is the people. Many companies in our space really have got this wrong. They'll talk about records, they talk about sales, they talk about how many awards they won, they'll talk about how much their top income earners make, but really that has nothing to do with it. When I got involved in the industry, people would say, show me your business. And I showed them a catalog and they weren't impressed. Or I showed them a website and they weren't impressed. When I showed them the people, they became impressed. That is the asset. That is really what makes our business grow. It's not about the volume and awards. It's really about the people. And I would rather have great people in an average company than a great company with average people. And what we're doing, the foundation of this was to assemble the greatest leaders in the industry, the ones that had a long-term vision, the ones that want to do this right, the people that wanted to build others up. And and do this with character and integrity. They have a vision for their life, and maybe they feel a call to a higher purpose. That's the group of people that we wanted to associate with. And we've been looking for this last year, and it's what led us all to this call today. And I'll tell you, I don't want to offend you, but if you don't want to build a business that way, then maybe our story is not for you. But it because this is about the people. And if you do feel the same way, adding your story to our story will only make this story a whole lot better. And so the people are the first pillar. The second pillar is the products. We want products that are innovative. We want products that are going to improve people's lives. We want product that will give us more energy and make us healthier and feel better. And the next speakers that Samson's going to introduce are going to cover that. But I want to take a little bit further than that. We wanted to have a great leaders partner with a great company. We wanted to have a parallel path that matched the field and matched the corporate side, where we have the same vision, building something long-term that's going to last. And when we started this version, this journey, we remember talking to Samson. Our list of things that we wanted were pretty simple. We want innovative products, strong logistics. We want a rock solid comp plan. We want great customer service. We want a financially solid business. We want a company that pays on time. We want to have a say. We wanted to have transparency, but our list of what we didn't want was actually just as long. And we found some partners, and we've got some NDAs, and so we can't go into the details, but I'm going to assure you that this new story is going to include a corporate partnership that you're going to be proud of, that we can trust, that's going to stand the test of time, because the foundation is in place. It's kind of like a building. The building, you can build a tall building, but it's only as strong as the foundation that's built before it. And we've been working for a long time to build a solid foundation of trust and integrity in the field side and the corporate side. And we are very excited about that. And so the final pillar is a purpose. Having a vision for your life that's greater than yourself, and for us, I told you at 30 years old, I had all the financial things that I wanted, but I was frustrated and I was losing hope, and I knew this wasn't sustainable. And I realized that chasing material things, although, there's nothing wrong with money, chasing material things weren't going to give me this, sustain me long term. And so I remember asking Tracy about where do we come alive? And I'll tell you what, I don't know if you're like us, but we come alive when we build other people up. And that's a proven fact. We've known that for a long time. And so for us, this last 3 years has been difficult for the world. It's been difficult for everybody. People are in a dark place. They've lost hope. And what we're looking for is creating a story that brings people to the light, to give them hope, to let them know that they're worthy, to believe in them, to tell them that they've got greatness inside of them, they're not here by accident. They're here for a reason. And that's what we're going to share, the story we're going to share. And I'm out of time, but I wanted to share one last story real quick. 1 year ago this day, actually, Samson, to this day, I was in a restaurant about a mile from here, and I was sitting across. We were eating seafood at a restaurant, and I was having some chest pains. And I told Tracy that, man, I'm having these chest pains. And she said, well, you ought to go to the hospital. And like any stubborn husband, I said, no, I'm fine. It'll be great. It's near the New Year's. I don't want to go wait. And you got on me for it.
I did. I told him it wasn't fair, if he had an emergency, my son and me to have that traumatic event, right? That's not fair.
And so I listened to her, but a couple of things happened, and I'll share one other day, but it was almost divine intervention that basically God told me you didn't go to the hospital. So I ran to the hospital. I was sitting in a waiting room. I got admitted. I got sent into a hospital room, and didn't know exactly why I was there. I was a little frustrated. And Tracy had to leave because of the pandemic. And I heard, as I was half asleep, I heard code blue in room 957. And I looked over at my room number, and it was room 957. And that meant someone was having a heart attack. And since it was my room, it was me. And literally the next 24 hours were a whirlwind. 5 minutes later, I was upstairs. They put a catheter up my arm. I watched on a TV. I watched my heart beating right in front of my face. And I made it through that. But 24 hours, I was sitting at my table with Tracy, just looking at her, just thanking God that I still had another run in me. And I tell you what, there was two things that happened. Number one, I felt a little ashamed because I wasn't living up to my full potential. And I remember she told me, I said, I know we need to do something different because we've been coasting for the last few years. We really haven't been living up to our potential. And she said, well, what are we going to do? And I said, well, we're going to do something big. And I know all of you on this call, if your last few years have been anything like ours, there's probably something inside you that's pulling that says, you know what, we can do better than this. We can up our game. Now is the time. And if that is you and you feel that calling, this is the time to step up. Come and join us because we're about to do something big. And so with that, I'm going to hand it back to you, Samson. Thanks.
Wow, Lance and Tracy. Wow, very powerful sharing. Thank you. And you know what, Lance, as you were telling the story, I saw Tracy getting emotional. I mean, wow, we're so glad you're here and that God told you to have another run because we're going to make another run. We're going to make it big time, right? And look, I mean, it's quite a wake up call if that's an understatement. Some things you can't wake up from, and life is short. We're going to make it happen. And that's why we're all here, because there are actually many people on this call now. They don't need to work anymore. They are already done, but they want to together with all of us to create something that can be a legacy. And part of that legacy is the product, as a matter of fact. So the next couple I'm going to introduce, another power couple, just like Lance and Tracy, is a very good friend of mine. It's an honor to call him a friend, and his wife. I'd like to introduce Mike McCormick and Linda McCormick. Hello, Mike and Linda. How are you?
Hi, Samson. Thanks so much for introducing us and sharing positive things about us. In my profession, they don't say great things about you too often, so this is a good thing for us.
Well, for the people who don't know, Mike is a very, very well-known attorney that operates in our space for 30 plus years. And Linda, oh my gosh, when I saw her background, PhD in neuroscience, she's so passionate. Mike has spoken of how passionate Linda is about educating people around the world about the science. I mean, I cannot get a better couple to share about what is happening in our phase 1 product line. Because a lot of people out there, there's something's coming, right? In Q1, they don't know what it is. What is this new project? What is the vision? What is the purpose? What are the products? And what is the business? So, let me go ahead and, you can maybe share a little bit more about, yourselves, and I can move over toward the product part on the slide for you.
That sounds great. Thanks so much. Linda is super smart and attractive and all that, but she's really a tremendous judge of character, especially in her husband and men, her judging character in men. So we've got that going for us. No, I'm a practicing attorney and I've been practicing law for a really long time. Linda's a scientist and she's smarter than the average bear. And as you can tell, I've traded up. But over the years, we've developed an affinity for all these great stories, these wonderful stories about people going from rags to riches and picking themselves up by their bootstraps and becoming something that they couldn't have been but for this industry. But that's not our story. We had all sorts of stuff before we got involved in this industry. We live in a 9-bedroom, 8-bathroom house that we've had before we ever got involved in this industry. We had plenty of things. We had lots of people in this house. We had 5 kids and dogs and her parents were living with us. I said to her, honey, we got 5 kids. We got 2 elderly folks. We got an au pair. We got 3 dogs. Let's do a new business. And she says, sure, why not? She was very, very skeptical. But that's one of the things in the law practice. My truth serum is a robust cross-examination. But in this industry, my truth serum has been Linda, because Linda is a skeptical scientist, and she doesn't think that she really has. You have to prove your merit and prove your worth if you're going to have a product line that passes her scratch and sniff test. And so she digs into the science and gets piles of papers on the bed, and our pillow talk takes a nosedive, and I'm trying to watch the Rockets game, and she's digging into all these papers and stuff. But at the end of the day, she concludes that, hey, what we've got here is something that's really, really, really special. And I'm going to let her tell about her background a little more and her product. Just briefly about us. I got involved in this industry through the courtroom long before I got involved in this industry through the living room. And the distributors that I represented were very, very high performers. And I watched what they had and what they accumulated in terms of their wealth, in terms of their things that they accumulated. And that was nice. That was a nice scorecard, I suppose. But what really impressed me was that they were able to do that while raising great families and having nice kids. Lance and Tracy fall into that category. I'm so close to their kids. We've got so many friends that I know all of their kids as a result of this business, because we had stuff, but we were time poor. And this industry allowed us to have a little bit more time. So I retooled my law practice, and now The big epiphany in this industry for us was, unlike the law practice where the whole thing is defeating my opponent and spiking my briefcase in the courtroom and doing the happy dance after a victory in trial. In this, it's not that way. The victory is helping other people be successful. And so by retooling my law practice, I could continue to do my practice. She could continue to do her profession. We were able to help people. And in a transition like this, legal challenges are presented all the time, and we're able to help distributors through those legal challenges. So the law practice is an extension of the help that we can give to all of the people who are in our organization. And that's where the true joy in this is. But this project, why this project? Well, we've seen, as Lance suggested, a lot of companies going sideways, a lot of companies going south. And we've seen that often it is a result of failures in character and integrity. And the people that we've locked arms with, Lance and Tracy and Samson and Kim, they epitomize character and integrity. And we have a corporate partner who's also strong character, strong integrity, people that we can really be proud to be in business with. And that's why Linda and I are doing this. And we don't look at this as the next stop. This is a life-changing opportunity for us. This is something that we believe will really change not just the lives of all of those we acquaint this project to acquaint with this project, but our own lives as well. And we couldn't be happier to share that. We can't do it, though, without a strong product line. And Linda, why don't you could explain to them a little bit about your background and a little bit about the products and how you've looked into the science behind them.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Mike, and all of you. I did think it was important to give you a little bit about my background to kind of tell what qualifies me to critically evaluate these products and the scientific advisory board as well. And just to let you know that I am what's called a senior director of global medical affairs for a large pharmaceutical company. And part of my job is to critically evaluate compounds for drug development, and not only evaluate those compounds for their safety, for their efficacy, for their commercial viability, but also we do elicit the advice of experts, so thought leaders in their field. And so I need to critically evaluate those experts. I need to be able to say that these men and women have the credentials, the experience, the knowledge, the qualifications for us to trust them with our clinical trials and to go in the right direction. And so that's what I did here. I just applied those same rigorous kind of evaluative properties to what we do here and what we're doing here with this exciting new company. And I can tell you that after looking at it, it's amazing. So we do have a suite of highly consumable, scientifically designed products that they are absolutely designed to enhance all the aspects of your health, from looking good, from feeling good on the inside, and to also enhance the gut health, and not only enhance the immune system, but also boost the immune system, and joint health. We can provide products that do enhance the joint health, and that's so important to be able to live the active lifestyle that we all want to live, right? And also we do have the ability with these products to fight free radicals. And we do that with scientifically supported superfoods. So I think you're going to be really pleased when you see the products that we're supporting. They're terrific. And as far as the scientific advisory is concerned, they're top notch. I mean, they're all highly qualified, highly credentialed, thought leaders in their field. I'm proud to be associated with them. I'm fully confident in their abilities to steer us in the direction that we're going into. And so, after looking at all of this, I do give my absolute endorsement to the products, and to the scientific advisory board.
And we can't wait to share more of this with each of you in the weekly calls that we're going to be having going forward. Next week, we'll be having a call on the comp plan. We'll be having weekly calls on key ingredients to what makes this opportunity an incredible opportunity. The products are one, the purpose, the people story that Lance and Tracy told, and everything you're going to hear from Samson and Kim for the rest of this call and a couple of our special guests enhance what it is we're doing and probably explain why the heck Mike and Linda McCormick are doing this. If we haven't explained it well enough, I'm sure they'll fill in all the gaps. We're honored. It's a privilege to share the call tonight with the likes of Lance and Tracy and Samson and Kim and the other special guests you'll meet here shortly. And thank you so very much for including us in your evening Zoom call tonight.
Wow. Thank you, Mike and Linda, for your sharing, because look, you two are cream of the crop in your professional careers. I mean, just to get your stamp of approval and having you involved, to tell everybody the truth, both of you have really helped us navigate in putting this very amazing platform that we're putting together. In this project, it's going to be powerful. People are going to see a difference when using the product. And rest assured that we are working night and day, especially Mike. I know he's been working very hard on the legal side. Make sure that we here together with so many of you can build a company that is a legacy company down the road, legacy opportunity. So thank you so much, Mike and Linda.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Love you guys. Okay, so next, well, as the opportunity moves forward, like Mike said, we're going to reveal more and more information. And I just want to share with you that, first of all, from a vision standpoint, we set out to create a new project, in this new project, a real opportunity that is global immediately. So right away, I'm sure many of you are excited, and many of you know people in these countries and territories, or know people who know people. Imagine building a global business right off the bat. And offering this opportunity to those people in those countries and territories. So it's very amazing. Look, we have in North America, we have US and Canada. We have Greater China in Asia Pacific Rim. We have Japan, Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Australia, New Zealand. Yeah. So many of you are on this call right now. As a matter of fact, I was going through the list. There's a lot of people logging in from Asia Pacific right now, not only in North America. So welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. So now let's move on, because a lot of you are asking. A lot of you saw the video, the Spark, and and my good friend, big sister Kim Hui, really set out the tone of what we're doing, where there is such a need in the world now. I mean, all around the world, not only in the US, but all the things that's happened the last 3 years have really awakened a lot of people to what's really going on. But the question is, what about the average person? What about, just a neighbor down the street? What about you and me? How can we come back from such a global event that affected pretty much every single person in the world? Well, what we want, though, is really with a lot of other people, not only just a few of us, a lot of other industry leaders coming together and say, you know what, we want to create a new light in the world that people can run to. We want to have a new hope where people can look to on a daily basis, where we can really say the things that, I'm going to wake up every day and chase my dreams again. What if there's an opportunity, a platform we can do that in? So I want to introduce this next speaker. Look, I've worked with her since 2006. I've worked side by side with her. I've seen her on the stage, off the stage. I have, dined with her family, really get to know her. And the thing is, in business, it's all about leadership. Success rise and falls on leadership. And I'm very lucky to be, by her side to watch her success. And then very fortunate to have her teach me the arts of the craft in this industry to really achieve something that I never thought I would achieve. So I'd like to welcome my very good friend to the stage, Kim Hui. Kim, are you there?
Happy New Year, everyone. Samson, Lance, Tracy, Mike, Linda. It's an honor to be sharing this platform and stage with all of you, and a very happy New Year to all of you. And we have been very, very blessed in our journey of entrepreneurship. But at this time, it is a much anticipated call for us, especially for me. This has been a rite of passage from both a personal level as well as a professional level. And so oftentimes we meet people. We meet people at times from a different stage of their lives, or perhaps we get introduced to people from certain perspective. And I know that a lot of people on this call, some of you know me, perhaps as someone that had a little success in this space of direct marketing. And many of you don't know who I am. And so allow me to take a few minutes and take you to my world and tell you how we came about to this stage, to where we are here today. I know that I saw some text and saying that why this secrecy? And I will share with you why. And as you perhaps you listen to the story, you will gain a little further understanding why we are where we are and why it's such a for me, it was a profound discovery to be where I am. And so about 30 years ago, just when I was at the height of my career, I was a young corporate executive. And just out of the blue one day, I got the news that I was fired. And so at that time, I was shocked. I was lost. I was in debt. And I need to find a way out. So in my search for a new job, I was introduced to direct marketing. And that's how I got into this and involved with this industry. Now, fast forward that, just like many people, I got involved in the industry in the beginning. It was for pursuit of financial freedom. That was the beginning. But as I embark on this journey, I discover even deeper meaning of the work that we do, the impact that we're able to make to help make the difference in people's lives. And so now fast forward that, now it's about 30 years later, I've been involved in the industry. And so just like many people that have been involved in this industry, I have seen people's lives changed. I have seen rise and falls of businesses, organizations, and characters. And so about a couple of years ago, I began to question and ask for my deeper purpose. What is my true purpose on earth? Why am I here? And so in that deep longing, that deep seeking, I went into a very small town in America. And I was led to this small town in America, a place in Arizona, a little town called Sedona. And so as I was seeking my refuge and looking for meaning, I fell in love with that place. I love the quiet and the small town nature of Sedona. And so about 3 years ago, I bought a home there. And I began to travel back and forth to LA and living half time in Sedona, half time in Los Angeles. And in that quiet, and initially I didn't know anybody. I have no friends there. And so that quiet, alone time has allowed me to get away from all the noises, has given me the opportunity to really review and dismantle concepts that kind of shaped our views. So in that search, in that alone time, I've done many, many beautiful hikes in Sedona. As a matter of fact, the picture that behind me, you see in the backdrop, that's my home in Sedona. And so in that search, there's some deep dive conversations of what is the meaning of all that success? What am I here to do? There's got to be something. And so, as divine has it, I was introduced to a few friends, a few people in Sedona. And because of their friendship, because of the interaction, and because of their presence, it helped me discover and realized my giftings and my purpose. And so fast forward that to today, as Lance talked about, Mike, Samson talked about, the last 3 years that humanity, we're witnessing unprecedented changes that had disrupted many untold businesses and lives around the world. And so it was at that time that I felt I was called to do something, that I had the opportunity the last 30 years to travel to over 50 countries and building businesses and organizations in over 100 countries and territories, that I knew that through my experience, through my gifting, that I'm able to do something. I wanted to do something. And that in the industry that we're in right now, that the entire industry is screaming for change. Entrepreneurs want the opportunity. The world is asking for change. So the calling came, and I want to live my life with nothing holding me back. I want to give everything I got to do something meaningful. And because of that, one thing led to another. It's just divinity at work. It's just divine intervention that I decided to have a group of people to come together to doing something bigger than ourselves, something bigger than just money, something more meaningful. I want to find something. I want to do something that has a higher cost, that has a more worthy cause for a worthy organization. So in that finding, we found a group of people that is right here on the call today here, as well as there's a group, as we speak right now, there's a group of individuals, very talented, very capable, and very conscientious, that are putting together a platform to help serve us all. So to some, why the secrecy? Because it takes time to put things together. And in due time, that we'll be very excited. Today, we kind of unveiled a little bit of the vision, the purpose of why we're doing this. This is a calling above and beyond business. It's for me. I had the blessing of making a fortune in this industry, but I know my job is not done. I knew that I've been gifted for many things. And therefore, this time around, I want to come out and do something. And so it's very, not too often in our lifetime that we get to be a part of something before pre-launch. So the pre-launch date of this opportunity is targeted, like I said in the video, Q1 of 2023. So today we'll share with you the pre-launch day will be towards the end of February. And there's a lot of men and women at work to make this happen. And so we're very grateful for what's about to come. And so, like I said earlier, it's not very often that we have an opportunity to be a part of something even before pre-launch. And the way I look at it is that this is a time that we get to work on ourselves. This is a time that we prepare ourselves. So when the pre-launch comes, we know what we're doing. We know what we need to do. And so what I like to do is, I like to, at this time, perhaps to share a slide with everyone and kind of to share with you how I came about to be where I am here today. And in finding that spark, many people say, you know what, Kim, I love this. There's a love and also a not to love for this industry. But I wanted for us to, in order for that change, let's drop everything we've ever known about this industry. Forget about this industry for a second. Let's just talk about finding that spark in life, especially after what we've all been through the last 3 years. Let's talk about what can we change positively in our lives. Because if we are able to change something within us, we're able to, by just being that presence, we're able to touch other people's lives. So about finding that spark. And here's 3 things that really helped me in finding my spark and in answering that calling. Okay. So the number one thing is, and this is really like every week we'll be giving a little homework, if you want to, the assignments of really doing something amazing for starting this year, 2023. So number one thing in finding that spark for me is that question of what makes you feel expanded, not only happy, but what makes you feel expanded, where your heart feels, you know what, I could do this, I could take this on. To me, the word expanded, it's more than happiness. It is the great grandmother of happiness. So when you feel expanded, naturally, that will allow you to spark your imagination of of the possibility that's out there. Okay. And so I put the ... And then now again, these are things oftentimes when people in our industry, they listen to something, they go, oh, that's all great. And then they don't do the homework. The reason why I got to be where I am here today, I work hard. But what I work harder on, the hardest work I ever done is not building a business. The hardest work I ever done is the work on myself. And so the question number one is, what make you feel expanded? So this is something that you have to answer yourself. And sometimes, you know what? Sometimes just clear your table, get a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, just sit down. And as we're into this new year, write this down. What makes you feel expanded? Because when you feel expanded, that's when ideas, imaginations, possibility, creativity, that's when it enters you. Then the next thing is ask yourself, what makes you thrive? What makes you want to move? Not just get up in the morning. What makes you thrive? And I could tell you the last couple of weeks, I mean, through the holiday, from Thanksgiving, from Thanksgiving to Christmas Eve, to Christmas, to New Year's Eve, we were thriving. What made us thrive was the purpose that we're doing. We're building something beyond the what we have here, right here on this television, on the screen. Okay, so I know, as a matter of fact, I know there are many crouching tigers and hidden dragon on this call. I know that many of you out there that have private messaged me and say, you know what, Kim, I want to do something. I want to be that beacon of light for this industry. The industry is screaming for change. Entrepreneurs want change. They want to change for something better. So you just have to dig deep and ask yourself, what make you thrive? Not just get up in the morning, but do something where you don't feel tired. I mean, I've been personally putting in anywhere between 16 to 20 hours a day the last couple of months. Why? I can tell you it's a lot more than money. It's not for money, because I walked away from a lot of money to do this. It's a calling. I've been called to gather a group of people, to take our experiences, to take the wisdom that we've gained, to contribute back to humanity. So last but not least, ask yourself the question, what would you like to achieve in 2023? What are they? Put them down, 1, 2, 3, in the orders of importance for you. And sometimes you might have to go through a few rounds to identify what's important for you. This is the 3 things that help me find my spark. And obviously, as you go through your list, take time to really, humanity, I feel like many people will take time to plan a vacation, but they won't take time to plan their life. I think if one thing come out of this pandemic, that it gave us time to really go inward. That's what I did. I had to ask some tough questions and do some deep dives. So I hope that this little slide helps you. These questions helps you to begin to find what turns you on into doing something, into changing your life. I remember 40 somewhat years ago, my parents took 4 girls to America. None of us at that time speak English. And one of the things my parents wanted us to do is all 4 girls have to finish college. And we did. We started with nothing. And we're blessed to have achieved a little success in this country. And so what I like to do at this time is that, because I'm opening up to you to share with you my world, I want to introduce a few individuals that are instrumental in my journey of discovering my gifting and my purpose to be where I am here today. And so the first person I like to bring on camera, this gentleman has runs a very successful ministry in Southern California. And he does great work for humanity. He not only does his church work, he also travels around the world, does amazing God's work. And so with that, let's welcome Dr. Usil.
Hi, Kim. How are you? Thank you so much. It's a privilege to be here with you.
Thank you, Dr. Usil. Would you, you as a pastor running your ministry, can you share with me why you want? I mean, oftentimes we exchange some quite deep and profound conversation. Would you like to share with the audience as to why you want to be a part of this? And I'd love to hear that, for you to share that with the audience. Obviously, you share with me and Samson, but I would love for the audience to hear from your wisdom and your words.
Thank you, Kim. Well, I was excited, but now I'm more excited. When I heard the stories of Lance and Tracy and Mike and Linda, I'm just blown away, because when you take those stories and you connect them to visionaries like yourself, like Samson and the team, oh my God, I come to realize that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Everybody's been talking about how we're trying to recover. Everyone's trying to recover. As a pastor, we go around. Actually, this year, it will be 20 years pastoring and doing church planning and doing conferences for leadership all over the world. And as we, continue, building leaders and going out to different parts of the world, building churches, we see that this has affected so many people. And the models that I know, are the ones that you've taught us, that Samson has taught us. And I'm very excited because the vision, I know, what Lance was saying earlier was so important. People don't get impressed too much with products. They will, but people follow leaders. And when they follow leaders, it's because they believe in them. And, there's just, for me, it's just amazing knowing that all the principles that you carry, that the team carries, that this vision carries, is the same thing that we are doing. We're out here doing this work as well, not for ourselves, but also to contribute, to build, to empower. And it's all driven through love, through contribution. Those two words that you said in the video just hit me right in my heart, because that's exactly what we're doing. And I believe that we're not called just to live the moment, but we're called to leave a legacy. A few years ago, Kim, that's the reason why I changed our church name to Legacy Church now, because we believe that that's what we need to do. We need to establish a legacy that goes beyond what we're doing. So this vision and this company, everything that you guys have done in the previous season, building a company that has produced, hundreds of billions of dollars. And at the end, you teach us how this has nothing to do with money. It has to do with empowering our generations and the people that need empowering. It just blows me away. I want to be a part of this. My family is a part of this. My leaders are a part of this now, and we're super excited to be on board. So thank you very much for the opportunity. Same Lance, Tracy, thank you. Also, Mike and Linda.
Thank you so much, Dr. Usil. You are absolutely amazing. And I truly enjoy talking to you oftentimes, hearing your story. And by the way, I love what you talk about, the expired map.
Yes.
And
yes.
Maybe one of these days we'll invite you up and really share that talk. And it's just truly, truly profound. Thank you. Thanks again, Dr. Usil.
So much.
Thank you. All right. Well, the next person I wanted to introduce is one of the individuals that he's a very anointed individual, someone that I look up to as a brother. He's a home builder. At the same time, he's truly instrumental in helping me gaining clarity of understanding my purpose and my giftings. So without further ado, please help me welcome my dear brother in Arizona, Mr. Joe Jameson, who's also a prophet. Joe, welcome to the call.
Hi, Kim. Thank you so much. I'm sitting here listening. I've gotten to meet Samson. I've visited with Lance and Tracy. I've talked to Mike on the phone a few times. And my background. I've been in direct marketing in the past when I was younger and everything else. And it was an interesting time, made some good stuff and saw a lot of people fall by the wayside and was really not interested in doing that again. And then after meeting you and going through everything and seeing your success, one of the greatest things anyone can do is, if they are successful, is to be able to share that success. One of the greatest things anyone can do that is not as successful in certain areas is align themselves with those who are successful. And by doing so, they themselves can become successful. And it's been quite a joy to have you around. Karen, I miss you, by the way. It's snowing out here. Not quite as warm as LA, but it's great. Looking forward to seeing you come back out. And listening to Lance and Tracy and getting to visit them on the phone, and Samson and all, and seeing what you're doing here. One of the greatest things I see in this is reciprocity. Reciprocity is huge, even in biblical terms or even in the universal terms. Reciprocal giving, reciprocal blessing, reciprocal attitudes, reciprocal friendships. Everything's about reciprocity. A full circle, coming full circle all the way. And what you and your team are doing, in my opinion, is that exact thing. We're actually able to help others. You know, it says in the Bible, freely you've received, freely give. Most people stop when they receive. They expect those of us that are in ministry, et cetera, to do all the freely giving. And then it stops with them, but it doesn't, because as we freely give, then it's up to the person who's received to give back. And it just begins to become a large cycle where we help everybody, and it raises all boats on a lifting tide. And I tell you, I was a little skeptical because I told my story. You were so kind. You said, Joe, we're going to do something different. And knowing you and knowing your success and your heart and how you look at things and the openness and the generosity that you have, I realized that I would be a fool not to jump on this boat. Because, Kim, you guys are going to do great things, and I want to be part of those great things. Part of what I do is awesome. But in visiting with the Lord and thinking and praying and going over this, we need a better vehicle to do the things we're being called to do. You've been called to get this going with the others so that we can accomplish other things that will benefit people across this world. We can accomplish things that will lift people up out of the mire that they're in. We can help people get on their own feet. We can move forward and do things we've all been called to do, but you have to have a vehicle to be able to accomplish that. And one of those vehicles has to do with finances. It also has to do with connections. And in this business, you get not only the connections, but you get the finances with it, and you got great products, because who needs better health? All of us need better health.
That's right.
I take a lot of supplements. I take a lot of superfoods, and you have thrown more stuff at us to try. And I feel like a guinea pig, but a healthy one at this point. But the greatest thing I saw in you was that when you come to Sedona, we're outside the bright lights. Listen, I was born in Pasadena, raised in Texas and Arizona. And you became real out here. This is real life. There was no facade. There was no Kim the celebrity, Kim the legend. I didn't even hear that till later. I can believe it. Believe me, I can believe it. But the real Kim was out here in Arizona. One thing about the country and one thing about small towns, the real you comes out. I don't care who you are. You will be found out. Your character will be found out. Everything will be found out about you and how you handle yourself in the different circumstances. And kiddo, I got to tell you, I'm proud of you. And I'm honored to call you friend and little sis.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Joe. Thank you, Prophet Joe. And I love your cowboy hat, by the way.
Yeah, Samson said you wanted to see one, so I wore it for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for being on the call and sharing your vision with everyone. So we look forward to having you more on the call. Thanks, Prophet Joe, Brother Joe.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Next, I have another friend of mine that also very instrumental in guiding my way in Sedona. And also, it's just his presence of who he is. It helped me realize my gifting. So without further ado, please help me welcome a brother of mine, Brother Gary, who's a top realtor in Sedona. So welcome to the call, Gary Wharton.
Hey guys, it's so good to see you all. And listen, I know that there are people tuning in from all over the world, and I'm so grateful to be here with you. Kim, what a journey it has been. I want to make a quick remark, you guys, is that pay close attention to that property that you're seeing behind her, because it's going to come into the story in just a little bit here. I am incredibly blessed. I have lived in Arizona for now about 10 years, and you can bet that I'm also in Sedona as well too. And I am very fortunate that I get to participate and guide people in some of the biggest decisions in their life. I think that through the pandemic, I saw something really, really interesting. Is that very quickly I realized is that, wow, the pandemic threw so many people off of their game, off of their balance. And I found people reaching out to me from all corners of the globe, looking for change, looking for something, entirely different than the life that they had already been living. So for me to get to sell real estate in a place like this it's really incredible. I want to tell you that about 6 years ago, I walked through a property, and I remember walking through this property because it had an immense amount of space and land to it. And I thought to myself, what is the profile of somebody that's going to be able to ground a place like this, that would be able to honor and hone a home like this? Well, just touching back on my quick remark from the very beginning, you guys, is that I would get the great fortune of selling that piece of property to this beautiful soul that you see on the screen in front of you, Kim. There are so many emotions that come to me when I think about my friendship with you and the conversation that you and I have been having over the course of the last 3 years in particular about contribution, about love, about purpose. And we all know that you can have all the success in the world. You can live a big life. You can have your name in bright lights. You can have everything that you can possibly imagine. But if it's not connected to something greater, if it's not connected to something with real purpose, you're always going to have that hole inside of you. And for me, what I've realized is that year after year, I've been so blessed to do the volume that I do and get to represent the homes that I do and people. There's something more for me. And I've known that for some time. And so when this conversation began, there was no hesitation for me. My foot was all the way on the floor, completely down on the accelerator. I'm ready and I'm in, because I want to be a part of something that's much bigger than myself. I want to give back to the world. I want to offer contribution, and any gifts that I may have that I can convey and share with the rest of the world, I would love the opportunity to do that. For me, just give you a tiny little bit about my background, is that I came from humble beginnings. My beautiful mother, who is on the screen in another room right now, by the way, I love her so much. My husband is here as well too. But there was a time where my mother and I lived in a tent on the side of a river in San Joaquin County in California. So we've had the really amazing, expansive adventure to where you start from nothing and you find yourself here. And even though we found a lot of success in these recent years, there's more ahead. And I couldn't be more excited to be on this adventure and this journey with you, and helping other people reach their goals, which is something that's really important to me, and getting healthy along the way and being included and to include others. It's a huge part of my calling, and I'm beyond excited and grateful to be here.
Thank you so much, Gary. And for someone that's, the reason why by the way, Gary, we're going to save that story of the property someday. Okay. You're going to tell that story someday.
Okay.
And so thank you, Gary. And I want to point this out again, Gary, and these are my friends from Sedona, Arizona. They are not particularly from our space. The reason I want them to share the story is because these are people not from our space, but they want to see change. They want to contribute. So everything we do. So anyway, Gary, thank you so much. You're a big help. You and Joe, appreciate you, love you, and looking forward to seeing you again back in Sedona soon. Thank you. Thanks, Gary. Last but not least, in my 30-year career of being in this industry, I have 3 sisters. And in my 30 years in this industry, my baby sister, who has never, ever been involved in any one of them, in this project, she jumped in with both feet and both arms and say, you know what, I'm in. But I wanted for you to hear, and she's been tremendous help in helping me with the script and a lot of stuff on the video. And so I wanted to have her say a few words, because I know that many people on this call are leaders, because this is not even launched yet. This is not even pre-launch yet. But I wanted you to hear the story from these people, Joe, Gary, Pastor Usil, and my sister who has never been involved in this industry. Some people say, well, you got people legends like Mike and like Lance and Tracy, but what about the average American? We just heard from a few. So last but not least, I'm going to have my little sister, my baby sister, say a few words about her why, what does she see here in her why? So with that, Audrey, can you open your camera, please?
I did. Can you see my video?
Yes.
Thank
Wow,
you.
beautiful. You now have a different hat.
You know what? I wanted to honor my fellow Texans, or I'm a wannabe Texan, let's say. It seems everyone on your team, Kim, has donned on their cowboy hat. So here I am with mine. I found mine. And let me just, now that I've done my shindig, I'm going to take that off and I'm going to kind of share a little bit about myself. Thank you for having me on tonight. Again, as you know, I'm Audrey Sue. I'm Kim's sister. I'm very honored to be, to be here to speak with you tonight, and hopefully less for the reason that I'm her sister or the fact that I'm her sister, and more for the reason that perhaps my story will resonate with some of you here on the call, and maybe some others to come. I've been around, like as Kim suggests and said, that I've been around the world of direct marketing, not directly, but through Kim, for as long as Kim has been doing this direct marketing, and successfully so, for the past probably 3 decades, which is a very long time by any measure of time. This is a business that requires perseverance, a lot of hard work, to understate it, and to be full of conviction for your beliefs, and most importantly, to be passionate, to have passion for what you do, and that is something that I try to instill in my 3 children. Passion is, I think, one of the most important ingredients to any success in life, personally, professionally. So the question is, why did I choose to join Kim in her next project, Spark? Well, in addition to experiencing the changes that we've all had to experience, like the rest of the world, I have gone through a major life transition myself, and I find myself moving in a new direction altogether. So with that, I've had to take stock of my life, to take inventory of where I've been, where I'm at, where I want to go, really evaluate my strengths, my goals, what is important to me, and to ask those hard questions too. What is it that I want my legacy to be besides the children and the people that I leave behind? How do I want to contribute to the world? So those questions I've been asking of myself, and I come to some different, thoughts that I'll share with you. Over the last 3 decades of my professional career, the first 10 were spent mostly in corporate America. And then the latter 20 years or so I've spent as a business owner. And the common thread that runs across all of those years and of experience, there's a common thread as to what I found, where I found the most enjoyment, and joy and passion and happiness. It is when I am working with others, collaborating with others. That is my passion. People are my passion. People are my joy. And it is always when I am in service to others. So I've come to that conclusion. So as I get to thinking about what it is that I want to do next, where I want to grow into, I think back to my core strength and my passion. And I really cannot think of a better business than the one that Kim is building with her team, as for my next step, my own growth in the future. Her mission and her vision align with my own, and it favors my strengths. It feeds my passions, So yes, I think I found a good fit, to say the least. And it's breathtaking for me to see and witness Kim's transition from where she started to where she is now. Her integrity, her convictions, and her passions have never wavered. In fact, I think it's stronger than it's ever been. And she has chosen to put all of her energies and all of her resources into this very humble project, or this thing she calls very humbly her project. You know, to me, and I'll take it one step further, it is not a project. It is, I believe, her legacy project, because I think that's where it's headed, right? It is something far greater than just gaining financial freedom. It is for everyone to gain personal freedom, and for all of us to be able to collaborate with each other for the good of humanity, for the good of society, for the greater good. So I am very excited to be a part of this journey that she has started. And you know, as I grow older, I value things differently now. Much of it has to do with scarcity. So for me, namely, it's family, the people that I love. Time is scarce. So I want to make sure that whatever it is that I'm devoting my next decades to is something that's worthwhile, worthy of my time, my passion, my strength. And I believe it is, I found it. And I believe in Kim's vision. I believe in her, you know, the direction that she's taking this new company. And I am so excited to be a part of it. And I am excited to be working with all of you going forward and learning from you, and, you know, being able to really elevate what it is that we're here to do, which is to be part of this greater good. I'm excited. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and Happy New Year to all of you.
Thank you, Audrey. You look beautiful as always, and I appreciate you. And Audrey is the first time in this industry, so all the big brother and sister, we're gonna learn together and grow together. And so to wrap this up, thank you so much. Thank you, honey. So, you know, to wrap this up, we actually have another call coming in Chinese. So we thank each and every single one of you, with all the admins in the back and all the participant coming on this call. We appreciate you. For those of you that didn't have a chance to work with us in the past, we welcome you. I could tell you that we are back better, stronger, and wiser than ever before. So we're excited. Look forward to the launch. And what we're going to do is the next couple of weeks, we will have different update every single week on Mondays. We will have update training calls every week up to the day of pre-launch. So with that, we're excited. Thank you for being in the call. We look forward to meeting all of you at the pre-launch. Thank you so much. Have a great evening and Happy New Year.